Let's go on to Oklahoma for our next caller. Cody, thank you for holding, and you're next on RFD TV.
Yes, sir. Good to see you guys on there. We got a nice set of black Angus second calvers. They're weighing about 1,050, 1,100 pounds, and I was just going to ask to see when's the best time to take them calves off them cows, and when's the best time to vaccinate them, work them, so we can develop a bigger calf or get the most weight on the calf, and when to go ahead and put a bull on them as early as we can.
Great question. Go ahead, Howard. Look like you're ready to answer that one.
At least I'll get it started. Sometimes depending on what you have for forage availability, and sometimes on these younger animals, first calf heifers, sometimes on second calf heifers that are still growing, sometimes we want to wean that calf a little bit sooner. Pull that calf off just a little bit sooner to allow that mother a chance to recoup before it starts getting cold in the wintertime. Again, talking about our 3-in-1 or our 2-in-1, talking about next year's calf and getting that ready. And so, some of the things that we talk about, and you might manage them just a little bit differently if you're going to early wean them, but there's an awful lot of data out there kind of against the grain that would suggest that if we early wean those things, we can still get those things to degrade and be very profitable. But again, we got to think about it. We got to plan ahead and got to have a plan on how we're going to handle those lighter weight calves, maybe just a little bit differently.
Larry, what about the question about putting the cow back with the bull and then getting ready for the next season? Any thoughts on that?
Well, and I think it ties together because you got to maintain reproductive efficiency in the cow herd. I mean, all the things we can talk about, we still have to have a calf on the ground. And so that's a critical step. And so anything we can do that's going to make sure that that cow breeds. And that's where Howard's point, I think, is just excellent. A lot of these guys with first calf and second calf heifers and cows are weaning just a little earlier to take a little bit of the stress off that female. It allows her to go into the wintering period with a little more body condition. That allows her to calve in a little better body condition. You get a better, stronger calf at birth, and then she rebreeds back a lot better that next year. So there's a lot of good data that really ties weaning age then to subsequent reproductive function, and that's what we got to get that live calf, and we've also though got to get as many pounds on these calves as we can. But age of weaning is a big step and one that not enough people are probably giving thought to.
Well, okay, I have a question then, Howard, I think goes back to you then. If you're going to pull that calf off sooner for the benefit of the mother, what does that do? What does that add or not, if any, stress to the calf? We're talking about weaning here now. So if you pull the calf off a little earlier than normal for the better health of the cow, then what happens to the calf?
Well, again, we've had 2 or 3 just resounding messages, and that's plan ahead. Okay, doing things. The nutritional stresses will be, similar, okay, or the nutritional requirements. Let me rephrase that, okay, the requirements that calf has. And again, as I refer to that nutritional preconditioning, I like to start that at least, 2 to 3, 4 weeks, before that time. So if I've got this and I'm going to early wean this calf, then at least 30 days before that time, I'm going to be thinking about preconditioning that calf, vaccinating. I'm going to be talking about supplying some nutritional things that way, and how I wean that calf and the feed might be a little bit different if I've got a calf. I think he said his were 5 weight, but if I have, sometimes they might be 4, 4.5 weight on a first calf heifer that I want to get off, because one of the things that I think research has shown us that when we get up that calf that's going to be 6, 7 months of age, for about every day we leave it on that cow, it's going to take about 2 pounds off that cow for every 1 pound that it puts back on that calf. So it makes sense to get it off, but how we're going to handle it and bring it up, probably with some grains or some byproducts, we've got to develop that rumen to be able to handle those things and grow that calf and get him on his way.
The vaccination part, just to complete Cody's question, vaccination part doesn't really change if you pull that calf off a little bit earlier.
No, it's just, but again, planning ahead, because we want to do it 2 to 4 weeks before that weaning date does occur.
All right.